Tracy squeezes my hand, and I offer her a small smile of thanks. Susan said the police would be here in a few minutes, and I keep darting my eyes around the parking lot to see their car when it pulls up. My eyes widen when I notice a blue sedan pull in, and I run my hand through my hair. Oh shit, I say and grab for my puffer again. Are they here? Tracy asks. Worse, I say to Tracy, who stands on her tippy toes to peer out the window. It's my mother. My mother is honestly the last thing I need right now. I would take a bulldozer coming through the front door over my mother at this exact moment. For one, my mother is capable of more damage, and at least the insurance would cover the bulldozer. I know this because the insurance salesman talked my mom into getting every single possible thing covered when our insurance was up for renewal last year. Talked her into everything and got her to sign on the spot. Now, I have a 3-year term that would cost me a fortune to cancel, and my insurance rates are triple what they used to be. Though, if there is a tsunami which causes the inn to be flooded and a shark ends up biting one of our guests, I can at least rest assured that we will be covered. The sad thing is, I'm not even joking. She's coming in, Tracy says. No one can tell her what is going on. I peer through the glass to see how far away she is and turn back to the other two. Swear to me, you won't tell her. Kate, she's an owner of the inn. She's going to find out, Tracy says. I know that, I say, but I will tell her after the police have been. If she finds out, she will insist on being a part of it. You know how she lives for the drama. There is a woman upstairs that's probably been murdered. Do you honestly think your mother can make the situation any worse than it already is? Tracy frantically whispers so the guests in the library next to us won't hear. I look to my mother, who starts to walk away from her car, only to be jerked back because part of her flowing kimono train is trapped in the car door. Yes, I do. I look from Tracy to Teresa, who I can tell is still in a great deal of shock. Not a word. I turn as the door opens and I see my mother's arms open wide. My mother has always had a great figure with lots of curves. The streak of grey at the front of her curly mop of hair give her an artsy look that I know she loves. Kate, darling, she says. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I couldn't find my Zen this morning. Not a problem, I say, and shove my inhaler in the drawer. I've had chronic asthma since I was 6, but I try and only use it in real emergencies. If she sees it, she will know something is wrong. Actually, it's really slow today, and you can have the whole day off. Find all the Zen you need. My mother laughs and puts her back down on the top of the reservation book, scattering my neatly lined notepad and pencils in all directions. No need, I already found it. She smiles and lifts her eyebrows. Did I walk in on a gossip fest? There's nothing I love more than women huddled together with hushed tones, as nature intended us. We weren't talking about anything, I say and dart my eyes to the other girls. We were just, going over some things. Kate, I can always tell when you're lying, because your nostrils flare, my mother says and turns to Tracy. Were you talking about men? Kate never talks about men with me. Even Greg the Great. I still can't figure out why. Maybe it's because I've asked you 1,000,000 times not to call him that, I say in an irritated tone. You still see that man, Teresa says, and I shoot her an exasperated look for encouraging the conversation. They're days away from the engagement, aren't you, darling? My mother asks, and I have to clamp down my teeth to hid my response. Greg asked my mother's permission months ago to marry me, but he still hasn't proposed. I think my mother secretly enjoys every day that passes by. It's not that she doesn't like Greg. I mean, what's not to like? He's great. It's only because she wants me with someone a little more like her and a little less like, me. Tara, you said you weren't going to tell Kate he asked, Tracy says. I didn't tell her, my mother says. She just looked at me and knew. I could never keep anything from her. It's kind of creepy, actually. It's true. Maybe it's because I learned at an early age that my mother had a tendency to, get herself into situations. I also learned that I was the one that was going to have to fix it for her. I can just look at my mother and know she's hiding something. Then I make a list and use my deductive reasoning, and I can usually figure out what it is in under an hour. The marriage proposal took me 7 minutes. It's my all-time best. Anyways, as I was saying before, we are really slow today. I look to the others for encouragement. Isn't that girl here to write a review? My mother asks, and I can feel all three of us go tense. I don't want you to be alone with her. She was always nasty to you, bullying you like that. And I want to make sure for myself that she's not going to write a bad review for us. I can feel Tracy shuffle awkwardly at my mother's words. Tracy was Samantha's right-hand girl in school, so a lot of the nasty comments and not so funny pranks came from her too. And that mother of hers is a real piece of work as well. You would think she was doing me the biggest favor in the world by calling her daughter. Did I look down my nose at her last year when I had to make that special ointment for her thighs? My mother tosses her silk scarf that fell forwards back over her shoulder. I'm a firm believer, though, that people like that get what's coming to them. Eventually. Teresa whimpers from beside me. Teresa, darling, what's wrong? My mother asks, but I put my arm around Teresa's shoulders to stop her from responding. Teresa is feeling a little under the weather, I say, stroking her hair. Oh, you poor thing, my mother says. Do you need to take the day off? Teresa nods her head and wipes her eye. That might be a good idea, I say as I see my opportunity. Why don't you take Teresa home? I'll ask Mr. Patterson, my mother says, referring to the handyman at the inn. I can start on Teresa's work. No, I say, and quickly take my arm from around Teresa's shoulder. She is actually not that sick. You know, I'm not feeling too good, Teresa says to me, and I wave away her comment. You'll be fine. Kate, if she says she's not well, my mother argues. She's fine. We are all fine, I say, trying to tamper down my panic and look to Tracy for help. You know, Tracy hedges, we do need someone to go and pick up those new brochures from the printers in Fairmount. Right, I nod, catching her drift. And we need them for this weekend. Shoot, I can't believe I forgot. I try to cover my nostrils, pretending I have an itch on the top of my nose. Well, if you need to go, I can cover things here, my mother says, and starts to sit in the chair behind the desk. No, I say and pull her back up. I can't go. I have to sort out the catering for tonight, and I'm the only one who knows the menu. Well, write it down then, my mother says. I haven't decided on everything yet, I explain. Well, I don't want to drive all the way to Fairmount. It will take me all day to get there and back. Can't you send a courier? She argues. They don't have anyone to get it here in time, I say and try to remain calm. Honestly, I ask her to do one thing and it's like it's the end of the world. I can tell my mother is still hesitating and I play the only card I have left. Maybe I should just ask Viv. I can see my mother's lips tighten. Really, I don't want to encourage it between the two of them, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Honestly, I'm sure Vivian has better things to do than go out and get brochures for our inn, my mother argues. Probably, but if she knows it's important to me, I say. No, I can go and get them. No need to bother her, she says. In fact, I was thinking that with the review it might be better to postpone our dinner tonight. Our attention should be fully focused on the inn right now, don't you think? I can honestly say my entire attention is focused on our critic, I say. Good, my mother nods. Not that I wasn't looking forward to tonight. You'll have to send my regrets to Vivienne and Greg the Great, of course. Of course, I say and kiss my mother on the cheek.